Oh man, waking up to this view every day, it's absolutely priceless. But here's the kicker. This isn't even my RV. See, I rented it on Outdoorsy. So last week I got this message from a subscriber. It said, hey, I love your videos, but I don't have an RV and I just can't afford one right now. What can I do to get myself into this lifestyle, even if it's for just a little bit? Well, this video is for you and anyone else who's RV curious but commitment phobic. For those of you who do not know, Outdoorsy is a peer-to-peer RV rental platform. They have thousands of RVs all across the country on their site, and each listing has photos, reviews from previous renters. You can filter for things like price, size, location, and even more specific things like solar, even mileage. So the platform itself is pretty user-friendly. So if you're worried about having to be too technical, and if you're worried about having to have more specific RV knowledge before you rent, you really don't. I decided to use Outdoorsy, and we were planning a trip to Utah for about 10 days. Now, we live on the East Coast, so even though I own my own rig, sitting in it right now, we only had 10 days for this trip. So to be able to drive all the way from the East Coast out to Utah, explore what we wanted to explore in our own rig, and then drive back was really not going to happen. It's just not practical. So that's why I decided to put my credit card where my mouth was and rent from Outdoorsy. Now, process was super simple. Looked online, found one that we like. Again, read a lot of the reviews. One of the reviews, actually not one, several of the reviews for the ones that I used said that the owner, because remember, this is peer-to-peer now, the owner was amazing. Very easy to communicate with. Everything was as it should be. So for us, the reviews were super, super important. Yes, I like looking at pictures and the layout was important too, but the fact that previous renters had given the owner such a high rating really, really made the decision very simple for me that this was the one we were going to pick. But that whole process of setting up the account, searching for an RV, and picking one out was pretty simple. Once I booked the RV, the owner got in touch with me fairly quickly. Now, this is all through the app, actually. This is an important piece here. Where are you going to pick up the RV? This was also, for us, a reason that I chose this one particular person to rent an RV from, is that he was going to meet me at the airport. So for me, that was great because I'm flying into Las Vegas airport, and the fact that he's right there at the airport made it very convenient for me. I didn't have to Uber somewhere or get a ride from the airport to pick it up somewhere else. That was a huge, huge piece of the puzzle here. Talked to him a couple times. He said, please ask any questions you wanted. I did have a few questions to ask him, and I'll get to that in a minute too, but reached out to me pretty much like, I would say, honestly, within like 2 hours after I booked the RV. Now, as the trip got closer, he did reach out and let me know what amenities were included in the RV. And this is also important because if you are traveling somewhere where you're getting on a plane and you're not close to your home, you're going to need to know what the RV has in it. For example, pillows, linens, cooking utensils, towels, all sorts of things like that. Are they included? It's usually in the listing, and then I did go back to the listing and dig, and I found it, but I reached out to him, and he just literally copied a whole list and sent it to me of all the things that were included. Now, for us, that was fantastic because we didn't have any of those things. So super important that we were able to get all those things. There were also cleaning supplies in there, just some of the common everyday things that you may need. Also, the other thing I want to talk about is the cancellation policy. You want to check the cancellation policy on your rental. A lot of them on Outdoorsy, I noticed, it literally says cancellation policy strict. So you're booking. There is no refund. So just keep that in mind if, your trip is something that could possibly run into a snag. So just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure that I was charged half of the entire fee at the beginning and then half a couple days before the trip. Now, after I shared my travel plans with Michael, I gave him my flight information when we were coming in. He actually, inside the Outdoorsy app. He actually shared with me his personal cell phone number, told me to communicate with him via that from now on. When we met Michael, he walked us through the RV, very thorough, which, again, I am an RV owner and I have been for a decade now, so I have an idea of how a lot of the systems work, but each RV is a little bit different, and I have a towable RV. This is a drivable, so definitely a little bit different. I encourage you, even if you are an RV owner, I encourage you to videotape it, because I actually did go back and watch it because I had a question about something and I didn't want to bother him. About the inverter, because we don't have solar in our current RV. So I did go back and watch it. So I do encourage you to videotape it if you can. But he went through all the systems, handed me the keys, and sent us on our way. So I want to go through some of the pros and the cons of Outdoorsy, or just renting an RV in general. I would say that for us, this was a great experience, right? It was really a great experience. The pros that I'm going to list necessarily don't really apply to us, but they could apply to you, which is why I'm going to list them anyway. And one of the pros is that you get to try before you buy. Now, the reason I say this is because I'm not looking to buy a van, a Winnebago van. However, if you are thinking about buying something, and let me know in the comments below if you are thinking about buying an RV, but you get to try before you buy, which is fantastic, right? I mean, when you're buying a house, you can't call up the owners and say, hey, can I come sleep there for a week and see if we like it? No, but you get to try. You could literally try the exact RV that you're looking to buy, which is a real way to get some incredibly valuable research for your RV search. Outdoorsy also provided a variety of options. Now, when I was filtering through, I mean, there were so many options that I could choose from, so many vans, so many different types, so many different floor plans. They even have towable RVs, although I'm not sure how that would work, because I'm assuming that you have to have your own tow vehicle. I'm not really sure. You can check Outdoorsy for that. But there was a variety of RVs that we could have rented. We chose the van because we wanted the versatility of the van, and it was only 2 of us. But there were a variety of different options available. Local pickup locations. I said it before, the idea of just being able to fly into the airport and have the vehicle right there at the airport, that was amazing. That was truly, it was truly one of the factors of why we rented this particular van from this particular person, because very convenient pickup and drop off. We dropped it off, by the way, at the same place. Very convenient. There was a personal touch, you know. Another pro, I think, was that there was a personal touch. This is actually this guy's van. You know, this is his van. He is renting it to me. So there's a personal touch there. I'm not renting it from one of these, and I'm not going to mention them, but one of these bigger corporations. You know, I am renting from a person, which the personal touch is something that is not understated. I really, really, really like that personal touch. And then another huge piece is that if you are renting it through Outdoorsy, the insurance piece of it is all taken care of. There's a security deposit that you have to pay, which you get back, which I actually just got back today, but the insurance part of it is all taken care of for you. It makes it very easy for you to rent from someone that you don't know. Now, I'm not going to say that everything is roses. For me, it was roses, but there could be some negatives or some cons to renting from Outdoorsy. One of the things is that you're going to get some varying quality. Remember, you are not the first, nor will you be the last person to rent that vehicle from that person. So you're not getting a brand new, pristine vehicle. There were some definite damages to the vehicle when we got in it, which, by the way, they were documented in the contract that we got during the walkthrough. We took pictures of it, but you're not getting a brand new pristine vehicle. Other people have lived in it. And to be honest with you, probably people who have no knowledge about RVs have rented it. So there could be some varying quality. I'm going to go out on a limb and say if somebody is renting their RV through Outdoorsy, they're going to put the best pictures they can of their product. Just like when you're selling a house, you're not going to put your messy living room picture in the listing. So that could be one of the drawbacks to renting from Outdoorsy is you're not 100% sure of the quality of what you're getting. There were some additional fees that I did not know about off the bat. There were some add-ons that we could have either chosen or not chosen. For example, we could have rented a bike rack, which we didn't. There was like an extra kind of like cab mattress that we could have rented, which we didn't. But there were some other fees like destination fees, and there's a cleaning fee if you don't empty the tanks. And it was pretty hefty. I think it was like $250. I made sure, because again, I am a knowledgeable RV owner, I made sure that all the tanks were empty. The fresh tank was full when I returned it. I literally returned it exactly the way that I got it. But those hidden fees, you know, if you're not careful and you don't read the fine print and you don't see that, hey, if you don't return it in exactly the way that you got it, they could slap you with a $250 fee. I talked about the cancellation policies, very strict. And I think I saw that on most of the ones that we were thinking about renting. So that's just something to be wary because, you know, I think the whole rental thing was like $3,500 for us. So half of that is like 17 something. If you, by chance, have to cancel your trip, you're going to lose out on almost $2,000. So make sure you check the cancellation policy and that you understand it before you book the trip. Okay, that's super, super important because that's a lot of money to lose out on. And the other thing is, just like anywhere, the availability of what you want exactly could be scarce, right? Especially in peak season and in popular areas of the country. So the availability could be scarce. I mean, there's only so many RVs out there that people are willing to rent. So if you're gonna book something on Outdoorsy, I recommend you do it as far out as possible for you and your needs. That's all. Just so that you can get the pick of the litter, so to speak. So a couple of tips for a successful rental, because I think I had a successful rental. So a couple of tips. One would be, you know, obviously read the reviews very carefully. Read what other people are saying about not only the rig itself, but the owner. Read those reviews very carefully. Book well in advance. I said that. The availability is going to be limited if you're booking during a peak season or in a very popular area, so book early as you possibly can. Another tip is to take photos at delivery. Make sure that you're documenting anything that you see wrong with the rig before you take it. Get a thorough walkthrough. I'm pretty sure that every owner is going to give you a thorough walkthrough, and don't assume just because you are an RV owner, if you are an RV owner, don't assume that you know everything. Make sure you listen to that walkthrough. It's super important. And then again, check what's included. Kitchen stuff, linens, towels, just check what's included. There was a couple of things that we actually bought for the RV and we left there. One of them was a mattress pad, and that is because we are sleep snobs. We actually bought 2 pillows and a mattress pad because we slept on that mattress the first night and it just wasn't going to do it for us. And we bought 2 pillows, but we left it. Just check what's in the camper so you know what's there and what you may need to buy. I mean, should you use Outdoorsy? Should you try it? Well, I mean, I think it's perfect if you're RV curious. I really do. I think that if you're looking to buy an RV and you could rent it beforehand, I think that would be a great idea. I also think if you're just an occasional camper, you know, maybe you're going to camp once a year, I don't see the reason why you would go out and purchase an expensive thing like an RV if you're only going to do it once a year. I would say just rent it. If you're maybe thinking about a different kind of rig. I mean, that's what we were, right? We have a travel trailer, 32-foot travel trailer that we love, by the way, but we've always dreamed of doing a little van life. So this was our opportunity. So I talked all about Outdoorsy and whether it's for you or not, but the thing is, you have to decide if it's for you. The least I could say is go on the website and check out some of the things. And if you're wondering where you want to take this RV when you rent it, well, check out this playlist here. It has tons of videos on our beautiful national parks. We'll see you over there.